What's going on, YouTubers? It is Friday, week 37 of this calendar year is in the books. Our top distributors for the portfolio, TSYY, consistently, from what I can see since I've owned it, hitting 130+% distribution week after week. Pretty freaking outstanding. How long can they keep this going without decaying the NAV? It's looking pretty good so far. Nothing lasts forever, but if you like to chase the yield like I do, this may or may not be something good for your portfolio, but I'm not your financial advisor, so you're going to have to figure it out on your own. YETH, this one came in at 81% distribution, and MST 74% distribution. We started the week off with $18,556 invested in the portfolio. We pulled in $179.71, excuse me, giving us an average for the portfolio of 50% distribution. How effing standing. And you can see my picture. I got some houses and some house keys. This is no longer a snowball. I'm going to use this as income, and I'm going to fight big bank with my income and pay off my house in record times so they can't make a bunch of money off of me. Probably do a video on that later. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's see how good or bad my math is. And I go through all these. You can see all the details, what I bought, the average cost per share, how shitty the freaking decay is, all that good stuff. So, and when I highlight over the ticker, you can see the full name of the ticker, just FYI. I know I don't explain a lot of this for you new people that come and see the videos. QQQY, this one came in at 38% distribution, $5.30 received for the income. QDTE, this one came in at 29% distribution, giving us $1.60. Next one up, QDTY, this one came in at 21% distribution, $1 and just over a quarter. WDTE, this one came in at 31% distribution, $3.21, added to the income. XDTE, this one came in at 24% distribution, $1 and almost 2 quarters coming in. SDTY, our lowest distributor in the portfolio, a trending low distributor, only 16% distribution. We'll go over the net assets later because I did forget to cover that last week. $1.02. But you can see it's not showing red, so I mean, do what you gotta do. IWMY, this one came in at 51% distribution, $8.11. RDTE, this one came in at 34% distribution, $1.81. RDTY, this one came in at 30% distribution, $1.80 added to the income. YBTC, 43% distribution, $3.06 added to the income. BCCC, 44% distribution. Uh-oh. I think I messed up my math. Oh well. $1.06. YieldMax, this one came in at 54% distribution, giving us $3.17. YMAG came in at 47% distribution, $3.42. Let's effing go, 55% distribution, $5.68. BLOX, they sent me a pretty awesome hat the other day. 36% distribution, 0.74 pennies. I need to buy some more of that. I need to buy a lot of these. GPTY, 34% distribution, 2.07 monies. NVDW, this one came in at 42% distribution, $3 added to the the income. Man, I'm tongue-tied this morning on Friday. NVYY, 42% distribution, $2.63. TSLW, 56% distribution, $3.06 added to the income. TSII, only 19% distribution, $1.16. TSYY, this one crushed it, 135% distribution. Excuse me, giving us $24.44. Outstanding. I'm chasing the yield on this one, just so you know. Probably not a good idea, probably a great idea. Only time will tell. AAPW, 30% distribution, $1.86. COIW, 54% distribution, $3 and almost 3/4 added to the income. COIW, 26% distribution, $1.50 and 2 pennies coming into the income. PLTW, 66% distribution, $6 and 2 pennies. Piling up the money. MAGY, this one came in at 34% distribution, $2 and just over 1/4 received for the income. MST came in at 74% distribution, $3.37 added to the income. MSII, this one came in at 20% distribution, giving us under $1. MSTW, 54% distribution. This one gave us $1.42, and unfortunately, MSTR did not get invited to the S&P 500. Boo. USOY, 64% distribution, $27.31 added to the income. Last but not least, YETH, 81% distribution, $52.11. My math is pretty good today. All right, let's take a look at the comparisons. We like to see some competition. So keeps us a little bit more entertained and keeps these companies on their toes because they know they're not the only option. Week 37, Nasdaq 100, S&P 500, and the Russell 2000 small cap categories. We're comparing Defiance, Roundhill, and YieldMax to see who's giving out the most distributions because it's all about the money. Top performer for the Nasdaq 100, Defiance, blows away the competition. Next one up, S&P 500, Defiance wins it out again. And of course, our trending lowest performer when it comes to the distribution rate, YieldMax. Boo. The Russell 2000 small cap, Defiance crushes the competition again. Next category, Bitcoin, Roundhill versus Global X. Whoa, very good, very good. Look at that. Very tight, very close. That is awesome. Crypto, the crypto category, Let's Effing Go blows away blocks. Is it blocks? We'll come back to that later. NVDA category, Roundhill and Rex. Wow, nice and tight. Good job. Tesla, the Tesla category, Roundhill, Rex, and Granite. Granite, crushing them. Crushing them. Look at that. 4 weeks in a row, we're seeing over 130% distribution. Chasing that yield. Y'all be safe. These are all high-risk investments. I'm not telling you what to do, but do what you got to do. The coin category, Coinbase, Roundhill and Rex. Roundhill crushes Rex. Almost double. Yeah, over double. MSTR. MSTR's been struggling, and unfortunately, the S&P 500 doesn't like Bitcoin for some reason, so they did not get added to the S&P 500, which would have skyrocketed MSTR by probably over 10%, if not 15%. Defiance, Rex, Roundhill. Defiance blows away the competition as far as giving out the distributions. One thing I did not cover last week, I take a look at the net assets at the beginning of every month.
to see the trend, to see if, and the expense ratio, to see if people are still investing or pulling back. QQQY, they increased about 9 million in net assets. QDTE, they increased, my math ain't great, sorry, over 50 million in net assets. QDTY, they increased almost $1 million in net assets. WDTE increased almost $1 million in net assets. XDTE, they increased, what's that, 12 million in net assets. Here's one, SDTY. People are starting to pull back. They lost 0.1 million in net assets about. So people are starting to recognize people want income. They don't want stability. This is high risk game right here. But nobody wants the NAV decay either. So, you gotta balance it out and see what you're chasing. IWMY, this one increased almost 10 million in net assets, about 8 million in net assets. RDTE, this one went up 14 million in net assets. RDTY, they increased 2 million in net assets. YBTC, they went up, what's that? Over 30 million in net assets. We just added BCCE to the portfolio. One thing to look at, very affordable. The expense ratio is way under everybody else. So that's a nice thing. If you got this for a long period of time, they're not charging you as much as everybody else. So you might want to keep that in mind with your investing. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. I'm not one of those YouTubers that's going to tell you, oh, look, if you did this, you could possibly do this, and oh, you might retire off of this one. Nah, this is not a retirement game. This stuff ain't going to be here 10, 20 years from now. I'd be shocked if it was. It would be nice if it was, but okay, squirrel. YieldMax, this is our biggest net asset holder. Went up 0.04 in net assets, billion. It's in the billion club. Nobody else can touch them. YieldMax increased about 13 million in net assets. Here we go. Here's another decrease. Shocking. Let's effing go. I'm surprised this one went down. I like this one. But it did go down in 8 million in net assets. We got a new one. The mustache dropped into the fold. So we'll track that one for a while. GPTY, this one went up about 4 million in net assets. NVDW, over 20 million increase in net assets. That's good growth right there. NVII, this one doubled and some in net assets. Outstanding. TSLW, this one went up almost 20 million in net assets. Nice growth. TSII, this is the smallest one for managing net assets. It's growing slowly. Went up a little over almost 2 million. And our newest one of our new ones, TSYY, 139 million in net assets. We'll see how well that one grows. AAPW went up 2 million in net assets. COIW decreased. They lost 0.5 million in net assets. COII, this one went up over 4 million in net assets. PLTW, huge increase. This one went up 45 million-ish in net assets. MAGY, this one went up over 20 million in net assets. Ooh, huge decrease. Look at this. MST, Defiance, huge decrease. They lost over 40 million in net assets. People are pulling away from this one, and they are the highest expense ratio out of the ones in this portfolio. So the NAV decay has been crushing MST also. So that one might not last the length of time. Next one, MSII went up just over 1 million in net assets. MSTW more than doubled, tripled
if my math is good, which it's not, almost tripled the net assets. Outstanding growth. USOY, this one only went up almost $1 million in net assets. And YETH, this one went up almost 30 million in net assets. Nice growth right there. All right, people, that's all I got. Appreciate you tuning in. I'll probably post a video next week on how I'm battling big bank and using this income to pay off my house in record time. Well, what I considered record time. Let's check you out next week. Enjoy your weekend.